Hey, everybody. And as long as you've got thumbs up, it looks like, can you guys all hear me? Am I breaking up? You guys are all hearing me. Fantastic. So welcome, welcome. It's I think the fourth Tuesday of the month. And I just love it. Everybody's thumbs are just going to stay up the whole time because you're all frozen. So it's hilarious looking on my end. So excited for the call tonight. And if for some reason you stop hearing me, if somebody just posts on the chat, and I will keep watching the chat to make sure that we are all online and doing well. So I'm excited for the call tonight. This is Nikki. We've been doing the call for over 20 years, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. every Tuesday without fail. And it's just, oh, we lost Nancy. She left. I hope she comes back on again. So I'm excited tonight because we've got somebody who's just what she's calling is right on the edge of going to NMD, and what a really super exciting place to be. And she has some great stuff to share with us. One of the things that I know about MargE is mindset is really important to her. And my guess she's going to be talking a little bit about that as well. But I didn't know these things about your background, MargE. So number one, she went to University of San Diego, studied psychology and biology. Didn't know that. Worked in active duty military. I knew that during doing neuropsychological testing. So whatever testing they did on you, apparently it worked because you're in a great place. I don't know what experimental drugs they used on you, but there we go. And during the pandemic, you got engaged and got married. Congratulations. That's so exciting. And also during that time, you unexpectedly became a full-time PE teacher. So partly due to the pandemic. So MargE, tell us a little bit about your experience with Juice Plus. How did you get introduced to it? What did you think about it? What was your beginning like?
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting. I totally admire this team. So it is a pleasure to be here. Okay, so my Juice Plus journey started 27 years ago. And I was a kid. And so I got put on Juice Plus because my mom had the wisdom to recognize that we were not eating enough fruits and vegetables as a family. She heard about it from her sister. And we were never like the isolated vitamins type of family. She knew that you just peed it out. So it wasn't something that we took. But when she heard about fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a chewable, she was like, yes, please. And I was a very picky eater at the time. White bread, peanut butter, cheese only. I used my broccoli as a way to get ranch into my mouth. And so I definitely needed some fruits and veggies in my life. And at the time, I had really bad allergies. I had 3 meds a day that I was on, 2 shots a week. And then I also had an asthma inhaler and a permanent line across my nose from just kind of like going like this all the time. And you know what? The sad part is that we just thought that it was like the genetic crappy deal that like I got from my dad's side of the family. And unfortunately, that was going to be my cards. And so that's how we started. But within a year of being on Juice Plus, I got off all my allergy medications, no more shots, no more asthma inhaler. The line went across my nose, went away. My whole family had a transformation. My mom's migraines went away. She became regular. My dad's eczema disappeared. His yearly sinus infections went away. My brother and sister, who are a little older, like their acne, like it disappeared. As a family, we stopped missing school and we threw our over-the-counter medications, and just a wonderful transformation from whole food nutrition. Now, I would like to take some credit here, but I really can't take a whole lot because I was still a minor and my mom was telling me to take it. And so I did. But what happened actually, which was pretty interesting, and I forget about this, I think probably intentionally sometimes, is when I got to college, my mom told me I had to start paying for my Juice Plus. And I was like, yeah, right, Mom, I am not spending money on our fruits and vegetables when I have beer to buy, like not happening. And so I got off Juice Plus for 6 months and I got sick. My skin broke out, my energy went away, and I came crawling back. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'm going to make some money in the beer budget for Juice Plus because this stuff's good. And so since then, that was my active adult choice in terms of getting on Juice Plus. But we're true believers through and through. So that's how I heard about Juice.
Wow, I love those kids' stories. So you don't have, well, you do. You have a 6-month experience without Juice Plus.
Mhm.
Before that, you probably don't remember what it was like before Juice Plus. You were just on it forever.
Yeah, I remember the nose. I remember the allergy shots, and I remember the line across my nose from constantly going like that.
How old were you when you started Juice Plus?
8.
Oh, wow. And so you do remember that, because my girls were 4 and 7. And so
Yeah.
they say they don't remember what it was like before. But I remember when Brittany protested and didn't want to take it anymore. And that whole season, she missed all the high school parties. She just happened to be sick for everyone. And I walked into her bedroom and I said, Juice Plus parties, no Juice Plus, no parties, which makes sense to you? She got back on her Juice Plus. So not unsimilar to what you were up to. So then how did you end up partnering with your mom in the business? What was that transition about?
So largely, it was my mom being a very persistent woman. Her sister, my aunt, had been in the business and invited my mom in, and she said yes right away as a partner, but didn't really do it. But right around the time I was coming out of college, my mom was about to hit NMD. And she was like, this would be really smart for you. This would be a great choice. And I just was kind of like, wah, 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 wah. Like, I just was not hearing it. But eventually I said, okay, mom, I'll become a partner, at least get my own Juice Plus at cost. And I really wanted to go to school to be, or I wanted to use what I had gone for school for. But fast forward, I got an amazing job with the military. I had tenure at like 26 years old, like literally could not be fired except for Congress. And it was a super secure and fulfilling job. But what I didn't like about it was that I had someone else setting like my vacation schedule. You'll find out vacationing is very important to me. I did not like that all of the rules got applied to me. And if someone couldn't got in trouble and couldn't manage their stuff, it applied to me as well. And I'm like, that's not fair. And then ultimately I have what I called my quarter life crisis, where I had this vision, this cast forward where I was like, I cannot spend the next 40 years of my life inside a concrete box. I worked in a hospital at the time, a concrete box building someone else's dream. Like, it just will not work for me, especially when I had these great models of entrepreneurship in my family, and my mom and my aunt and my dad. And I just was like, we've got to do something about it. So that's when I started actually doing the business. Before I was doing the business, but really I was like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was probably telling someone about Juice Plus like once every 6 months. That's how I made the shift.
But what it sounds like to me is that you really got clear on what you wanted your life to look like, what you didn't want and what you did want.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like what you wanted aligned with what you already knew to be good in your body. And now you aligned with the possibility of actually creating a business out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that alignment is really important. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about alignment tonight.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And I don't know about the rest of you listening on the phone, but I think it's really amazing when we look at our business is the place where our core values align or intersect with the business in which we choose. And that intersection is what sparks everything. Mm-hmm. So what's your wisdom for us tonight? We are, by the way, I'm so mesmerized by your eyes. I can't even think. Your eyes are so beautiful. I swear I'm like dropping into them that I'm forgetting stuff as I'm looking. This is so crazy. I know, it's like you've got magic in there. Okay, but seriously, tell us a little bit about, what's made this work for you, and what's the focus been for you, and what keeps you moving forward?
Okay, so definitely peaks and valleys in terms of my business. Like I said, like there's been times where I was really treating it like an amateur, or actually a poser, like Eric Worre says. And then there's been times where I've been more professional. And definitely in the last few years, I've moved into that professional realm. And I was thinking about like, what is it that I'm really, what am I doing that is working for our team? We're knocking on the door of NMD. We've got great momentum. And I was thinking back to clear, vivid goals, being able to have that strong picture of where you're going. And one of my uplines, Wendy Campbell, she says that not only do you need to have a mission why, but you need to have a financial why. And so that has been getting me thinking, and it's been something that we've instituted in our team, making sure that we're doing both. And that also got me thinking, of course, I wanted my downline to do that because Wendy said it, right? And so I was like, I've got to do it myself. And here's what I've seen across the board for myself and in other teams as well, is that an upline with goals creates a team with goals. And for me to know where I'm going is going to duplicate and run down the leash with my team. And so I started getting, I got really hooked on this whole airplane analogy because I love travel, like I said. And I thought about, getting on an airplane, and would you really want to get on an airplane with a pilot who had no idea where they were going? Can you imagine just being there and hearing over the intercom, like, hi, welcome aboard today. We might be going to New York. We might be going to Cincinnati. We might just get off the plane for a little while. No, zero confidence. You would not be interested in it. You would not be excited in doing that. And we really are the pilots of our business. And so I realized that for me, I needed to get brave, and I needed to get clear, and I needed to get focused on what I wanted if I had any chance of my downline having a clear picture for their business. So I started talking about this airplane and pilot thing, and I got really big on it. And, starting with the destination, where are you going? So for us, we all have an easy target. That's Phoenix. Okay. So that's coming up in April. It's our next conference. What do you want to happen in April? What do you want to happen by Phoenix? And, being able to describe that with vivid, clear pictures, so that when you're sharing it with someone, you can give them FOMO. You can get them excited. Look at what Nikki did, showing us her condo that she's in Mexico. I'm about to ask her where she's at and see if I can just come with her, right? She's not like, oh, I'm kind of like at this place. All right. No, there was animation, there was visuals. She told us who she's with. She's going on some hot dinner date with her girls after this. And I'm like, this sounds amazing. I want to be a part of it. It's very clear and vivid. And so when we're sharing our goals with people, if you're able to make it really crystal clear, can you see what you're wearing when you're at conference and you're walking the stage or celebrating with whomever? What are you going to be doing? And I've heard this so many times, guys, because I've been in a lot of conferences and a lot of trainings, but it's so true. And you can either choose to listen to it and actually adopt it, or you can just let it be like an interesting fact that I say. But if you can actually take the time to start getting focused in on this, and then start telling the key listeners in your life. I was thinking about the Brave Leaders program, and they talk about, that inch paper where you write down the opinions of the people that you that really matter to you. You should be telling these people. They should know what your goal is, and they should be able to support you in that and create that reality with you. And the more you share it with those people, especially your trusted group, the more clear it's going to get in you. The first time you share, or I shared about being NMD in Phoenix, it was sloppy. It did not sound great, and it was very vague. But the more and more I share it, especially inside of my trusted group that I have, Heidi's a part of that, the better that it gets. So really being clear on that destination and making it a trip people want to go on. And then I was kind of stuck in my airplane analogy. This one's a little corny, but like layovers, like do you have layovers? So for me, I created a layover of December 31st because that's like a pretty good halfway mark for me in my measures. And so what do I want to have accomplished by then? What am I going to do but close out this year? What are my goals for that? And, setting like incremental targets as we go. And in our team, we really embrace the 5-1, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's 5 orders and 1 partner. Wendy Campbell swears by it, and we embrace it. And so having that be a monthly rotating goal or layover as you go along. And then, what are you going to do to get ready for the trip or for the destination or packing or whatnot? You're going to be focusing in on your DMO and your IPA. And IPA is a beer. Yes, it is. However, that's not what I'm talking about right now. I am talking about income producing activities. And I have been talking so much to my team until I'm blue in the face, is that there is proactive Juice Plus activity and there's reactive Juice Plus activity. And you posting something on social media is reactive because you're hoping that someone comes into your social media and expresses interest. That's not a proactive approach. And so while there's value in being reactive in your IPA or in your daily activity, it's not really IPA, okay? So getting into other people's social media, asking questions, getting into other people's lives and getting interested in them, getting to know them and inviting them to events, etc. That's going to be more of your proactive. So really kind of thinking about whether you're on the proactive or the reactive. And, when I was doing this, I don't know about you, but like anytime I set a really big goal for myself, I have like I don't know, probably like 80% of it's anxiety to start, and then like 20% of it's excitement because I am nervous. Like I'm putting myself out there. And, for me and our team, we talk about big goals, big feelings, and we just embrace the fact that we're big people. We are big people. You wouldn't be on this call tonight if you're not a big person in this world. And with being a big person comes having big goals, and big feelings come up with that on the entrepreneurial roller coaster. And so how are you going to manage those feelings? Like the second thing that we really embrace is personal growth and mindset. And everybody comes into our business or life really, but let's just focus on our business, comes in with an inherent skill set, whether you were born with it or you picked it up at your job or, parenting or whatnot, you've got this skill set and it'll take you to X spot. So let's say, Heidi comes in, she's got her skill set that took her to QSC. She has a choice at that point. She can either stay there and enjoy it and be happy as a QSC, or she's got to grow herself. And I feel like people knock their heads against walls, wondering why they are not promoting, but what they really haven't done is worked on themselves and looking at what they need to grow, enhance, improve in themselves so that they can move forward. Even Jeff Roberti at conference, what did he say? 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. So if you're not feeding that mindset, and you can embrace whatever works for you. I like doing unconscious work for me because it's logical and I kind of have more of a logical brain. I think there's value in different things though, right? But find something and let it work for you. And I also think about Catherine Lee. I love how she talks about the head, heart, and hands and the alignment that you need inside of all three. And if you don't have alignment in head, heart, and hands, you're going to be stalemated. And I think that one of the downfalls of our company and our business is we've got so much information that we get stuck in the head. And you know what, guys? That's not moving our business forward. You got to be in the alignment of all three. Now, if you need some adjustment, some tweaking of one of those, I suggest that you get brave and you ask your upline, because I guarantee you your upline could like rattle it out real fast what they suggest that you work on, which is a blind spot for you. And that's not unusual. We all have our blind spots. And trust me, my mom has been telling me forever that I need to do better at my customer care three-way calls because I have a huge, customer care, or I have a huge customer base and I'm working on that, right? Like that's an area that I'm growing in, but it took me asking for that and being coachable and willing and hungry. And I'm going to take a breath because I'm on a roll and I'm talking fast.
You're doing great.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So then, kind of my third point that we really embrace, but I really want to really encourage you guys to do the mindset and the personal growth, because we don't need really any tweaking in our hearts for the most part inside of this business. You get attracted to this business because you are a mission and servant-hearted person. So really that's kind of like check. Maybe every once in a while you might forget what you have in your hands and you need to like listen to something and get yourself inspired again. But for the most part, you're good to go there. So I really suggest that you take on personal growth and look at where you have room to morph so that you can achieve what it is that's important to you in those financial and those mission wise. Okay. And then the third thing that we really embrace and was a shift for us is the quad 10, which is part of Shelley Mackey's Wheel of Success. You may have heard her talking about it at conference. But when we made the switch to talking about the quad 10 and that just being like the package that we promote first, it really helped us for a few reasons. Number one, it raised our PV. So we were getting, more on each order. Number two, it raised our paychecks, which everyone loves that. And then number three, it definitely also, created a better experience for our customers, which of course is why we're here. And I think it's really important to be on the quad 10 yourself. And if you're not taking the fruits, veggies, berries, omegas, and the complete, and I'll say the perform as well, because I think that that's something you may want to look and see, like, where's your limitation and your belief in these products? Because we're not a catalog company, guys. Like, we don't have 100 different oils. Like, I have 3 oils just chilling here, right? We don't have all these things. We have a simple product line. So if something's not clicking in your brain, having the wisdom to realize that our company's not just throwing stuff out and they're suggesting that we take something because it's quality, that might be something you want to invest in educating yourself in and building some belief, because what you believe in is going to be what your customers end up taking, what your team takes. And that's like it's just a whole trickle down effect. Last few things I just want to share that are not really like points, but they're like little extras that I think have really been helping us. Number one, looking at people who are shipping and looking at like what upgrade you could do. Like, I don't even know if they're still using bundles, but that was like an aspect that we, or an avenue that we use. Like, oh, you're only taking this. Like, did you know we have that? And, you know, upselling at the point of reshipment, because you'd be shocked at how many people are like, oh yeah, go ahead and add that to my order. It's like amazing to me how often that happens. And then the second thing is project broadcast. Big fan of project broadcast. And so let's say, for example, Heidi's got her trio shipping and she's not on the Omegas, and I want her to learn about that. I just enroll her in an Omegas class, which is amazing. And so I get to educate her simply and easily, and it's already done for me. Or let's say Sheila, she's a new person and she hasn't taken anything, right? But I ask her if she's open to me sending her a shred class. Well, guess what? Now she's in my project broadcast and she stays in my monthly or weekly wellness tips. And I'm in front of her face. So not just for those 5 minutes that she was interested in the shred. Now I'm in her face, once, twice, 3 times a month, and she's getting help and value from me. So big fan of project broadcast and automating my customer service and just really simplifying. And then the last thing is like connecting points. I think that like phone calls are gold, and we are also living in a time and place where sometimes it's a little more challenging to get people on the phone. And so ways we've like navigated around that to lead to phone calls. The goal is always still a phone call or a Zoom, but in order to like kind of maybe create some baby steps, we do 3-way text like nobody's business, or 3-way Facebook Messenger is actually better, because what that does, let's say Heidi wants me to talk to Nikki and she wants me to share Juice Plus with Nikki. Well, if Heidi does it on Facebook, then I can add Nikki as a friend. So not only is she getting Heidi's validation from Facebook, now she's getting mine. And now I get to look into Nikki's world and say, oh, Nikki, you love to travel, do you? Oh, let's talk about this, and I can start like looking for ways to be proactive into her life. So I appreciate Facebook Messenger over text, but that's just kind of an aside. And then the last one is we use the add tag message system, where you add someone to your customer group, you tag them in something relevant for them, and then you message them with their permission, of course. Never just adding people to a group. You have to talk to them. Okay, so that is what I've got to share.
So, MargE, one of the things I have to say that I really appreciate, a lot of these things, of course, we've been over. We all know about add tag message, but I wonder how often we take advantage of that. We go, oh yeah, we know that works. Oh yeah, I'm going to start doing that. But if somebody had it on their calendar to add tag message 5 people every day or 5 people a week or whatever it was, that was in their calendar consistently to find somebody, because we have a really beautiful wellness community that you could add tag and message. I mean, it's all set up for anybody who's fairly new that isn't really great at putting together content, is to add somebody to that group, tag them, and if you don't know how to tag, ask somebody how to, and then message them. I just think it's something that we forget to do. And I love the 3-way messenger. I love the idea of introducing each other a little bit first, even that way, before, maybe even before inviting them to a 3-way call, because maybe if they saw that first, does that seem like it gets them easier to get on a 3-way connection call when you do it that way first?
Yeah, because you're human and you're like not just some mysterious voice behind, and they get to see your profile and they're like, oh, she doesn't have 4 heads and she's not a crazy monster, like she's a person.
Right.
So
That might, that's great. Does anybody, before we jump off, have any messages, anything that they would like to ask MargE, ways that she's doing her business? Her team has definitely got some great momentum right now. And if your team is lacking a little bit, or you would like to increase the momentum, this is a great opportunity to ask some questions. So does anybody have any questions, anything they'd like to comment on?
three-way on the Facebook. How do I go about doing that?
Good question. So when you create a new message, you can say who you want to write it to, and then their name will pop up from like the drop down. So you pop that, like you select them, and then you can keep typing and put in a second name. Or you can do new group message. That's an easier, more effective way of doing it, probably. That would be less complicated. When you do it from your Facebook, actually on your desktop, you have to go to the messaging system. If you're doing it on the app, you press the plus sign and then it says new group message.
And I can show you more about that, Noreen. I'm loving that you asked. Any
Okay.
other questions?
Thank you.
Caprice, it looked like at one point you undid your thing, but maybe you're.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you rocked. You were so thorough. I'm trying to think of a question. There were some ideas there.
Great. Caprice, thank you. I thought so too. She was really thorough, really direct, concise, perfect. Heidi?
I have a question for the benefit of everyone else. How do you create that team camaraderie and community aspect within your team?
Well, I feel like that's something I'm always trying to work on. But of course we have our group text and we have our Voxers. But having like the fun and the mischief tends to bring us closer than any at work thing, and having like a personal side to it as well, where we actually get to connect on something. We do when you hit like certain levels, you get like, well, I don't have it in here with me, but you get like a cup, and there's different levels. I guess like if you achieved that, then you belong to it. Everyone has the same thing, and like it makes people want it when they're going up. So you create a little bit of FOMO. But I would definitely say, blending in like the socialization, like we'll do like wine Zooms where we just get on and do happy hour, and it's just fun. Or like, what's that? It's some kind of a game you play online, and I cannot Kahoots. Like we've gotten on before and played Kahoots on Zoom, and I think that community piece gets built in those times that aren't just Juice Plus focused, where they get to really know who you are as well.
Sounds great. So Lisa, I'm thinking a little bit of vodka, a little bit of tequila, our shot glasses out. I don't know what this Cahoots is, but it sounds like it could be fun.
It's fun. It's super fun. And you can play it on Zoom. And we've actually done it after our team calls, where like we've cut our call off and then said, anyone who wants to stay on for the social afterwards, like go grab your favorite drink. We're going to leave the line open. And in 5 minutes, we're going to start playing. We've done karaoke on our on our Zooms before after it. So yeah.
Hilarious.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Your family story is really strong. Do you use that a lot, and do you find that it really does help? I was just wondering.
In terms of the product or the business?
More the product.
Yeah, I definitely draw in on their experiences, and I share them. And I have, just such a length of it. I think one thing for me though, that I really do emphasize a lot too, is like when I chose Juice Plus, because obviously my mom's still not paying for my Juice Plus, so I was gifted that. And I think I really try and plant in that my mom was wise to get us started at a young age, and she gifted us with that nutritional foundation. And then, I had some sense knocked into me after 6 months off of it, and, re-chose it as an adult.
Yeah, that makes such a strong story. I believe it.
And I'm grateful, super grateful. And more so even for myself, am I grateful? I am grateful that my parents and the people that I love most have been on this. Like, it makes me cry every time, because I'm grateful that they have had this nutrition in their body for so long. So that just makes me so happy.
I want to make one comment about connecting points, because I think this is really important, is if you think about what we're doing right here as a connecting point, and you just got to hear MargE's story. She's been on it since she was young. She did it all through college. They were going to make her pay for it, what it was. You have that story now as part of your connecting points. And you can feel, if you've been on this call for a while and you sense, feel, know MargE's authenticity it's going to be an easy story to share from your point of view. I have a new friend, MargE, and I just recently heard her story and it really pressed upon me. I know your kids are in college. What's happening with them? You know, are they taking their Juice Plus? What's going on for them? So these can be connecting points larger than just you learning, that you're meeting somebody new that's now in your circle of storytelling. And I just want to remind everybody that. So, all right. Well, we're going to go out and go downtown Ensenada. We were there today and checked out all these really cool, small, teeny little restaurants up and down 2 blocks and some crazy looking bars. And so we're going to go out and check them out tonight and tip a few. So one of us is designated though. All right. I love all of you. Have a great week. And we will see you back here on Monday night for JP University. That's our next class. All right, everybody. Good night. And MargE, thank you so much. It was delightful to get to hear from you more than I normally get to.
Yeah,
Thank you, MargE.